Over the last few months, I've been doing various things, primarily schoolwork, although I'm finally on break now, recording videos for my secondary channel, and lastly and most importantly for this video, exploring the depths of Spelunky 2. I've already documented various Easter eggs and secrets through my guides, special Cali rewards, arguably all the rare mob drops, and of course, the various things the True Crown does. Throughout these months, though, I've focused significantly on the latter, and made some probably important discoveries. I'll be covering all of these within this video, and doubtlessly will be doing the same in the future, assuming I can find more. If you're here for guides, we're getting into unknown territory, so take my words with a grain of salt henceforth. I've experimented a lot, but I can't say I know everything. Lastly, this video will use some things that were in previous videos, so I'm going to give a brief summary here. The big thing of note is the True Crown in general. It allows a lot of new interactions to appear that wouldn't happen previously, presumably just triggering a flag within the game that allows these things to happen. Obtained via destroying a Cali auto, meeting Beg, and not having him teleport out on you, and arriving to another later auto while cursed. It teleports the player every 22 seconds and grants 22 bombs when it does. Well, that's all well and good, but more specifically, it is used for a couple of big things that I've already seen. Firstly is in Duat, the snake god Apep is normally completely invulnerable and one-shots the player. However, if one is able to telefrag it via the True Crown, it spawns a black-ish key on the Cali altar in Duat. Nextly is in Tiamat's throne, or rather above it. Above Tun, when the True Crown is worn, a staircase form is generated rather than the rather flat layout that it usually has. When I first noticed this in my level feelings video, I assumed it was just random, and that's somewhat right. It seems that it can generate naturally sometimes, but it becomes a guaranteed thing with the True Crown. Those are the main things covered, and while there is other interactions that I've shown, these are the most important ones for this video. With all the context addressed, let's move on to what's new. So, back in October I was playing Spelunky, as one does, base goal just making it to CO, and in the luckiest case, beating it. I got an early Cali auto, managed to get Kapala on 1-2, which is very lucky, and so I figured I'd try to do a True Crown one since I got the early start. Got the crown by 2-4, which was even more fortunate as you'll soon see. With the bow waiting in the corner, I did the usual Olmec skip, but when I made it in, I was surprised to notice something different. There was this book dresser thing where the crate usually is. I believe it's the same as from the hub camp. Needless to say, I looked at it, and even stranger was that it was actually interactable, which I don't believe they are normally. To be precise, readable. Honestly, before I even pressed E, I was getting a little giddy because it was like finding this huge secret, kind of like I did for Lost in Lamprey Fog, I suppose. The book, I guess, read, and I quote, "The text is barely legible. All you can make out is dark elevation." With hindsight, it seems obvious, of course, what to do next, but at the time I really didn't know. It had been 3 months since I saw, and much less did, the Apep telefrag, and 8 months since I saw the stairway, so it's been a hot minute. I talked about this with some people on Discord, and someone I sadly can't remember suggested a connection to me. And in November, I was finally able to execute on this link. So I had once again gotten the True Crown before Duat. Acquired the key with some trial and error. Big benefit here is that there's no ghost in Duat, so while I could fail the telefrag, there's really no harm if I do. Although it is rather hard to do that as long as you go the long way. I grabbed the key, moved on, and as you may suspect, made it up to the top of the Tiamat's throne room, and onto the staircase. Now, a detail that I didn't mention earlier is something that is presumably only revealed when having the True Crown, or perhaps the key, a darker spot on the staircase than the rest. I really don't know which activates this, but regardless, there's certainly an implication there. It is very possible that it was even a double meaning. I frankly don't know, and I'm also not really going to investigate further because regardless, I think you pretty much need both, so I'm really not going to investigate any further. Anyways, on to what you've all been waiting for. What's behind the door? I started recording because obviously I'm not going to miss my first time opening this. I opened this door using the key, and interestingly, while the animation for door opening played, it was still just a wall, although no longer as dark. Upon going inside, I saw this. Okay, this is different. Bomb bag. I don't recommend it. And what in the hell is that? Is, I guess, my next question then. Oh. Got it. That was a little tight. Just looks like a little critter of some sort. It's some little thing. A bug or something, I guess? I really don't know. Looks kind of just like a squiggle, if anything. After observing for a bit, I just kind of left and exited the back layer. I didn't feel like killing it, but I don't know. Interestingly, though, after I left, I was struck by the realization that Tun was no longer at the exit. Not copse, no crossbow, just gone. And there was really nothing I could do about that. And, frankly, didn't really affect my current run, so I moved into Sunken City. Now, there is something that you did not see at first, which was the fact that I actually had an eggplant child, because this was quite the lucky run. Obviously, I went to Eggplant World, but before I went, I decided to recurse myself. I did remember the Tun Copse Easter egg in the Eggplant World Geist shop, so I figured if I can find anything further about this, it would be down there. And I did in fact find something, although it didn't really do much for me. There was just a few more of those flies there. I think it was 3 to be precise. And the shop was also completely abandoned, so I could just take the gifts. So at least there was that. But that's about it. If you're curious about the Sun Challenge, it was empty, similar to before, but it spawned on 7-1 rather than 7-3. So it seems that this deletion of Tun cut her out preemptively. But the guy's shop seems to do something similar. I'm not entirely sure yet. In my eyes, this is likely a secondary chain of sorts. Similar to the main one to get to Cosmic Ocean and Sunken City, using the Qilin and whatnot. I don't have any idea what's at the end of it, obviously. I certainly don't think that this is the end of it. But I'll continue looking in my own time, as well as asking you all that if you have any ideas for me or yourself, execute on them or tell me them. The more I or others try, the better, because that's just the sooner we can figure out what this is all about. The only other lead that I have right now is potentially the ghost itself, as, if you might recall, if you have the True Crown, she gets distorted in her grave when you take a picture of that. Besides that, I'll just keep testing stuff with the True Crown and we'll see what happens. But that's about it. If you've enjoyed this video and want to stay in tune with anything else I find in the future, then please subscribe, ring the bell, all the usual stuff, just so you can stay up to date with all this. But regardless, thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.